Hello everyone, I want to share with my audience a story from my life that happened just recently and my wife cheated on me with taxi Uber. In this story you will understand where lies lie and how to watch out. Now here's the thing, because of her work, she is always on the go, open houses, meetings, shows, dinners with clients. She always jumped in the Uber or taxi, because she said it saved her time and trouble. Okay, good. I make good money, and so does she. I didn't think twice about it. About 9 months ago she started talking about how one driver is so cute and how she always ends up getting it on the app. I laughed. I mean, who cares about the cab driver, right? She even joked, if I ever disappear, you'll know that I ran off with a driver. I laughed at that, too. Well, it turns out that's no joke. Yes, I'm an idiot. She started dressing differently. Like, not just for work. She went to meetings in clothes that shouted club, not closure. Her phone was always glued to her hand. The notifications suddenly became just lists, or this is from my artist boyfriend. She changed her passwords. Said she needed more confidentiality because of customer information. Right. Looking back, the signs were glowing neon red. But I was working late, and she was working late, and we just started to drift in such a quiet, subtle way. And she got even more obscene. Everything I did irritated her. My kitchen? Too weak. My clothes? Too boring. Even the chewing became a problem. She started sleeping in the guest room because of my snoring. Bro, I've never snored in my life. Not once. You should have known. But the real twist? That was 2 weeks ago. Trust me, Reddit, you'll want to buckle up. So, where was I? Right. 2 weeks ago. It was a Friday. I got off work early because of some server outage. Rare gift, right? I texted Samantha to see if she wanted to grab dinner. She didn't respond. Weird, but okay. I figured she was at a showing. Around 4:30, I'm driving through downtown and I see this cab parked on the side of the road. Nothing odd about that except I recognized the driver. He looked too familiar. The dude had a long ponytail, aviators, and one of those smug smirks that just lives on someone's face. It hit me, he was the guy from her stories. The friendly regular Uber driver. And then I saw her. In the back seat. With him. She wasn't wearing her real estate blazer or her fake professionalism. She was in a short dress and leaning up into the front seat, laughing, touching his arm, acting like a damn teenager. He handed her a coffee like it was their daily thing. My stomach just dropped. I did something dumb. I followed them. They didn't notice or didn't care. They went to this little park near the lake. Not a client meeting. Not a showing. Just the two of them, sitting on a bench, cuddled up like they were the couple. She even kissed his cheek and laid her head on his shoulder. I snapped pictures. I couldn't even cry. I just felt numb. I waited for her to come home that night. She walked in around 9 p.m., all casual, swinging her purse like nothing happened. Me, how was the client dinner? Her, ugh, exhausting. Buyers are the worst. Why? Me, you sure it was buyers and not a cabbie? She froze. For the first time in a long time, she shut up. Then she snapped. Full hysteria mode. Why are you stalking me? You're obsessed. You're paranoid and crazy. He's just a friend. I was venting to him because you don't listen anymore. I asked her straight up if she was sleeping with him. She said, and I quote, "You really think I'd screw a guy who drives people for a living? What kind of woman do you think I am?" Bitch, exactly the kind who would. I told her I saw them. Had pictures. She stormed out, screaming something about how I violated her privacy and humiliated her. Samantha. The victim. Of course. That night she didn't come home. Next morning? Things got even worse. More lies. More drama. Alright, Reddit. Buckle up again. If you thought part 2 was a mess, just wait. So the morning after she stormed out? I figured she needed time to cool off. I'm sitting at home, staring at my phone like an idiot, hoping maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked. Around 11 a.m., she comes back. No call. No text. Just unlocks the door and struts in like she owns the place, like she didn't just spend the night God knows where. She had the nerve to be wearing the same dress from yesterday. Hair messy. Smelling like cheap cologne and lies. Me, so where were you last night? Her, none of your business. I needed space. You were being toxic and controlling. Toxic. Because I caught her cheating. She started packing a bag. I asked her if she was leaving for good. She said, "No, I'm staying with a friend until you get over this jealous meltdown." That friend turned out to be him. The cab driver. How do I know? Because one of her idiot friends, bless her gossipy heart, sent me a screenshot from Samantha's Instagram story that she accidentally left up for 5 minutes, a mirror selfie in what looked like a motel, with him in the background, shirtless. Just casually brushing his teeth like this was their daily morning routine. I lost it. I texted her, told her not to bother coming back. She blew up my phone with messages like, "Asterisk, you're being dramatic. Asterisk, it's not what it looks like. Asterisk, I just needed comfort and you pushed me away. Asterisk, you never made me feel alive anymore. Oh, and my favorite, he listens to me. You only care about your job. Lady, I pay the bills. I cooked. I cleaned. I gave her the space she wanted, and she filled it with some knockoff romance novel cab driver who wears tank tops in public like it's still 2005. That night, I started looking into divorce lawyers. And that's when I found something else. Something she really didn't want me to know. Not just emotional cheating. Not just sex. No. This next part? It changed everything. So after I told her not to come back, I spent that whole night in what I can only describe as the rage-fueled detective mode every betrayed husband eventually enters. I wasn't just mad. I was surgical. My goal was to get the full picture before filing for divorce. I wanted to know everything. I started going through our shared bank statements. I wasn't expecting much. I figured maybe some hotel charges, maybe dinners, whatever. What I found: multiple cash withdrawals. Frequent ones. Same ATM, same amount. Like clockwork. $300 every Friday for almost 3 months. Sometimes twice in 1 week. She doesn't use cash ever. Not even at farmers markets. So I checked the location of the ATM. It's next to a trashy little strip motel in a sketchy area just outside town. You already know where this is going. She was paying for their little rendezvous. Literally funding the affair. And possibly paying him. Y'all, was this dude her side piece or her sugar baby? The next day, I show up at her friend's house, where she claimed she was staying. Her friend answers the door, confused as hell. Says Samantha hasn't stayed there in weeks. My stomach just bottomed out. I drove straight to that trash motel. Guess what's parked outside? Yep. His yellow-ass taxi. Not even subtle. I sat in my car for an hour just watching. Eventually, they came out laughing, holding hands, her in my hoodie. And the worst part? She kissed him right before getting into the passenger seat. Like she was proud. Like she hadn't just burned down our entire marriage for a guy whose dashboard was held together by duct tape. I confronted her later that night, told her I knew everything. She went nuclear. Screamed about how I never loved her for who she really was. How I smothered her with expectations. And this gem you wouldn't understand, but he's been through real struggle. He's deep. He reads poetry. I swear to God, Reddit, I nearly burst out laughing. At this point, I told her I'm filing. You're not coming back. We're done. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She smirked. Like she wanted this to happen. That's when I realized, this wasn't some passionate mistake. This was planned. But even I didn't realize just how planned. Wait until you hear what she left behind. Alright, Reddit. You've been patient, and here's where things fully spiral. So after I told Samantha I was filing, she moved out officially. Took a few bags, left a bunch of random crap clothes, makeup, curling irons, whatever. But in her rush to make a dramatic exit, she also left behind something else. Her old laptop. The one I got her 2 birthdays ago, the one she swore she never uses anymore. Guess what? She used it. A lot. Now, I wasn't looking to go full hacker mode, I just opened it because I needed to check if any financial info was stored on there. But the second it powered up, it auto-connected to our Wi-Fi, and her email was still logged in. First thing I see? An email thread titled "Our Escape Plan Yellow Heart Taxi." I wish I was making that up. She was planning to leave me for this dude. Not just emotionally. Not just romantically. Like, sell the house, move to Florida kind of leave. She had spreadsheets. Google Docs. A whole folder labeled New Life. I read through it all. She was planning to convince me to sell the house, which is under my name, by the way, take half in the divorce, and use that to start a wellness retreat with Taxi Romeo in some beach town. Let me repeat that. My wife was going to steal half my house and use it to fund a healing resort with a man whose job involves air fresheners and floor mats. I kept scrolling. Found love notes. Him calling her my wild sunflower. Her calling him my leather-seated lion. Excuse me while I barf. She even wrote a fake script she planned to use in court to paint me as emotionally abusive so she could leverage the divorce. It was all laid out. Word for word. But here's the kicker, she hadn't sent it yet. She was planning to do it after I filed, to make me look like the aggressor. So I took screenshots. All of it. Every email. Every doc. Every humiliating, gross, delusional detail. I sent them to my lawyer. His exact words, "We've got enough to bury her in mediation." So now, I'm playing nice. Letting her think I'm cooling down. Letting her float in her fantasy of incense, ocean air, and stolen assets. Meanwhile, I've got court dates lined up and a pit bull of an attorney. You'd think this is the climax, right? Nah. Alright, Reddit. So after I found the Escape Plan Yellow Heart Taxi folder on her laptop and handed everything over to my lawyer, we agreed to sit tight for a few days. Build the case. Let her keep thinking I'm broken, pathetic, maybe even ready to forgive her. But here's the thing about people like Samantha, they can't stand not being the center of attention. She didn't just want to cheat and move on. She wanted drama. So last weekend, I go to our favorite grocery store, the same one we used to hit every Sunday like a boring little couple with matching tote bags. I figured it was neutral territory. I needed food and mental peace. Guess who rolls up? Yep. Samantha. Wearing sunglasses indoors, holding a green juice, looking like a failed influencer on day release. And he's with her. The cab driver. Ponytail in full force. Still rocking the sleeveless hoodie, look like he's trying out for a role in an unpaid web series. They walk in like they own the place, whispering, laughing, loudly enough for everyone around to notice. And then she sees me. Smiles. That smug, I win you lose smirk. She walks over and says, "Hey stranger. You look tired." I kid you not. I just said, "Enjoy your kale," and kept walking. But she wasn't done. Oh no. She raised her voice so the entire produce section could hear, "Just remember, you pushed me into his arms. You made me feel invisible." Lady, you weren't invisible, you were just insufferable. Then, the best part, the cabbie puts his arm around her and says, "You don't need that negativity anymore, baby." Reddit. I laughed. Out loud. In their faces. I didn't mean to, it just came out. Like a reflex. She snapped. Started yelling, actual yelling, in the middle of Whole Foods. Stuff like, you always thought you were better than me. I gave you the best years of my life. You're just mad because I found someone who actually makes me feel wanted. I said, very calmly, you found a man who takes payment in cash and Red Bull. Congrats. That's when she tried to slap me. In the middle of the damn citrus aisle. Security got involved. She started crying. Fake crying. Told them I was harassing her. I pulled up the texts where she invited me to talk earlier that week. Boom. Case closed. They asked her and her cab god to leave the store. I checked out with my groceries like a king. And you know what? That moment, watching her escorted out while holding a $12 juice and her dignity in tatters, felt better than therapy. But it wasn't over yet. Because 2 days later, I got a message that changed the tone of everything. Her little affair? It wasn't as exclusive as she thought. So remember how I said Samantha thought she was living her best escape fantasy with Mr. Uber poetry vibes? Yeah. That fairy tale just crashed into a wall, hard. 2 days after the Whole Foods meltdown, I get a DM on Instagram from an account I don't recognize. No profile pic, no mutuals. Just one message. Hey. I think your ex-wife is seeing my boyfriend. I blinked. Sat there like, what fresh chaos is this? I replied, wait. Are you talking about the taxi guy? She goes. Yes. His name's Marco. He's been with me for over a year. Let me repeat that. Over a year. So Samantha wasn't his soulmate. She was his side chick. I asked for proof. And oh boy, she delivered. Screenshots. Photos. Voice notes. Him saying things like, she's just a rebound. She gives me cash, I give her attention. Don't worry, baby, you're the one I want long term. He even called Samantha annoying as hell. I asked if she'd tell Samantha. She said, already did. She called me a jealous stalker and blocked me. Classic Samantha. So guess who messages me later that night? Yep. The queen of projection herself. I hope you're happy poisoning everyone against me. I replied. I didn't say a word. Your Prince Charming just has a busy back seat. She hit me with a wall of text. Stuff like, I was vulnerable. You were cold to me for months. At least he listened. You're a bitter man who can't stand seeing me happy. No accountability. No apology. Just the usual hysteria, twisting the narrative like she's auditioning for Real Housewives of Regret. I didn't even respond. But it gets better. The next morning, I get a call from a blocked number. I pick up, and it's Marco. Swear on my life, this man says. Hey man, I think this all got out of hand. Maybe we can talk? I said, dude. You were sleeping with my wife. Why would I want to talk to you? He says. She's saying a lot of crazy stuff. Telling people I manipulated her. Like I ruined her marriage or something. I just gave her rides, man. Rides. Both kinds, apparently. He asks me if I'll back him up if Samantha starts getting legal. I told him straight, you made your bed in the back seat. Lay in it. So now? She's blocked by me. Ghosted by him. Humiliated in public. And still thinks everyone else is the problem. But hold on, don't think this is done. Because Samantha has one last meltdown in her. So remember when I said Samantha was spiraling? I underestimated just how far she'd fall. It's a Thursday. I'm working from home, finally feeling some peace. I've blocked her on everything. My lawyer's handling the divorce. Karma's doing its thing. Then, bang bang bang. Someone's at my front door. I check the camera. Yep. It's her. Wearing a big hoodie, sunglasses, again, and holding, wait for it, a gift bag. I didn't open the door. I spoke through the mic. What do you want, Samantha? She smiles like nothing happened. Like she didn't torch our marriage, lie, cheat, get played herself, and drag me through emotional barbed wire. Can we talk? Just 5 minutes. Please. I should have walked away. But curiosity won. I cracked the door, stepped outside, didn't let her in. She hands me the bag and says, I just wanted to say sorry. For everything. Inside the bag. Asterisk a bottle of my favorite whiskey, weirdly thoughtful. Asterisk a long letter. Asterisk and a keychain, a tiny yellow taxi. I swear I thought it was a joke. She starts tearing up. Says things like, asterisk he lied to me. Asterisk I was confused. Lost. You were always the stable one. Asterisk we could start over, you know? Maybe therapy. Clean slate. I stood there in stunned silence while she made her big pitch. What if we just take a break from the divorce? Feel things out. I'm not saying we jump back in. But what if we dated again, just us? Dated. Again. The woman who built a new life folder with another man. Who tried to stage a grocery store breakdown. Who called me controlling while literally paying a cab driver for affection. I couldn't even be mad anymore. I just said, Samantha, go home. We're not doing this. This isn't a romantic comedy. This is real life, and you burned it to the ground. She lost it. Full meltdown mode. Started pacing on my porch, crying, yelling, throwing the gift bag onto the ground like I had betrayed her. Screamed. You're throwing away something real. For what? To be alone? Yes. Yes, I am. And it feels amazing. Eventually, I told her I'd call the cops if she didn't leave. She stormed off, muttering to herself, yelling at her Uber driver to shut the F*** up when he asked where she was headed. And now, she's blocked again. Permanently. The thing is, you'd think that would be the end of it. But no. Alright. Buckle up, Reddit. If you thought Samantha's porch breakdown was the grand finale, lol, no. She still had one final play, and it was as desperate as it was dumb. So after I rejected her date me again idea and she stormed off, she went quiet. Eerily quiet. No texts. No surprise show-ups. No middle of the night cryptic emails. Just silence. Until a week later, when my lawyer calls me. He sounds amused but also kind of baffled. So, Samantha filed a motion to delay the divorce. I ask why. He says, according to her filing, she's concerned you're suffering from emotional instability and need time to recover before making permanent decisions. Excuse me? This woman who? Asterisk cheated on me. Asterisk lied for months. Asterisk tried to gaslight me in public. Asterisk got cheated on herself by her discount philosopher boyfriend. Asterisk then showed up on my porch with a gift bag and a dream. Now thinks I need emotional recovery? But wait, it gets worse. She included an affidavit. A full-on written statement where she claimed. Asterisk I'd been erratic and unusually paranoid in recent months. Asterisk I had trouble distinguishing reality from speculation. Asterisk I lashed out and had mood swings that made her fear for my mental health. She even referenced the Whole Foods incident and claimed I caused a scene. If you forgot, she's the one who screamed and tried to slap me in the citrus aisle. Oh, and the best part? She submitted text messages, edited screenshots, out of context, trying to make it look like I was harassing her after the breakup. But my lawyer already had everything from the laptop I found. The new life folder. The real messages. The full timeline. He filed a response with the actual emails, plus the footage from my front porch cam of her losing it and offering to get back together. She tried to delay the divorce so she could claim spousal support. But when her lies got exposed, she didn't just lose the motion. She blew up her own case. The judge saw everything. Straight up said there was a clear pattern of manipulation and dishonesty. My lawyer told me afterward. She just torpedoed any chance of a favorable settlement. Which means, no spousal support. No claim on my house. No share of anything she didn't directly contribute to. The only thing she walked away with was her toothbrush and that dumb yellow taxi keychain. But you know what the wildest part is? After all that, after the lies, the cheating, the collapse of her relationship with Marco the cab god, she tried to contact me one last time. Alright Reddit, here we are. The final chapter. And yes, it ends exactly the way you'd expect, with peak Samantha. So after she tried, and failed, to delay the divorce, torched any chance of spousal support, got exposed in court, and watched her dollar store philosopher boyfriend ghost her, she went dark again. Or so I thought. Until last week. I'm sitting at work, sipping coffee, finally feeling like I can breathe, like the whole hurricane has passed, when I get an email from her. Subject line, hey. I literally laughed out loud. The message? I know things ended badly, but I've had a lot of time to think. I'm not proud of everything I did, but I also don't think we should throw away all the history we had. Maybe we just got lost for a while. But I still care about you. I almost didn't reply. But curiosity and spite won. I wrote back. I'm not interested in revisiting the past. Hope you find peace. She replies. Well, I was going to wait, but I need to ask you something. Just be honest with me. I expected some sob story. A weird emotional appeal. Nope. She says. Would you consider being my sperm donor? I'll give you a second. Yes. She actually asked me, the husband she cheated on, lied to, humiliated, and tried to screw over in court, to donate sperm. Because, quote, you're smart, stable, and healthy. I don't want to do this with random donor DNA. This could be a fresh start. I damn near spit my drink across the room. I replied. Samantha. You cheated on me with a man who quoted Instagram poetry and drove a 2012 Corolla with no AC. Then tried to sabotage my mental health in court. And now you want my DNA like it's a party favor? She had the audacity to say. It's not about us. It's about the child. Don't you want your legacy to mean something? Lady. My legacy will be not creating a lifelong tether to a hysterical, lying, uber-loving ex-wife. That's plenty of meaning. I didn't respond again. I blocked her on email. For good. So, where am I now? Asterisk divorce, finalized. Asterisk house, mine. Asterisk therapy, weekly, and honestly a lifesaver. Asterisk peace, fully restored. Asterisk sperm, absolutely not donated. It's insane how fast a life can unravel when someone builds it on lies and lust in back seats. But it's also wild how fast you can rebuild when you finally let go of the dumpster fire. To everyone who read this saga, thank you. Seriously. Writing it out helped more than I expected. And to the folks in my DMs telling me to turn this into a screenplay, let's talk eyes. Until then, remember, a taxi never trust a woman who tips her Uber driver in compliments and chaos. Peace out.